Welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and this is, I believe, part 17 of the letter. Anyway, I'm eating some salsa. I'm trying to remember what the tortilla chips. Why could I not remember that? I swear, like my brain stopped working after so many hours. Anyway, basic math eludes me. But yeah, it's got some chipotle peppers. It's meh. I'd say serrano peppers are the best salsa. Let me know in the comments, what is the best pepper for salsa? But we're going to hop back into this game, where Ashton's probably going to die if I can't figure out how to save him. And if he does die, then well, regardless, I gotta go. If he lives, I gotta go back and have him die at some point. Regardless of how generous that is, each second's just as important as the next. I'm looking forward to doing the Binding of Isaac Ultra Impossible from Scratch challenge. So I hurry one footstep over the other, echoing But as with every plan, problems crop up at the last second. It's practically a universal rule. It does. I'm going to stop this for a second. But, yeah, Binding of Isaac Ultra Impossible. At the very start of April, I think it's April 1st, Repentance, the Binding of Isaac Repentance, should be coming out. It'll be the final version of Isaac, and it's supposed to be the biggest update possible. And it's supposed to make the hardest version of the game. I have not played it all on Steam. I have it on my PS4, but I haven't played that in a while. So, like 6 months or something. But I'm going to be playing Repentance from scratch. So absolutely nothing will be unlocked. No cheats, no mods, and I'll be doing what I call the Ultra Impossible Challenge. Every game will be on hard mode. And I'll be picking a random character every time. And I'll roll a d4 at the start of every run. If it's a 1, I'll take the traditional path, the way the game's meant to be played, but on hard. If I roll a 2, I'll play greed mode. Greedier mode if it is unlocked. If I roll a 3, it'll be one of the challenges, but I won't get to choose which challenge. I'll have to roll a d8 to randomly select what challenge I pick out of the ones that are available. Other than that, also, if I get a 4, it would be a daily challenge or whatever New Path is, because I heard there's New Path, but I don't know what that is. Other than that, I don't know, at one point I had an idea of maybe do Outer Worlds, but like call it a Death by D6 run, to where every time I interact with a person, I just roll a D6. If I roll a 2, it's their first option. A 3, the second option. A 4, the third option. A 5, the fourth option. A 6, the fifth option, so on. But you're like, well, what about if you roll a 1? If I roll a 1, I have to shoot the person in the face with the shotgun. So, Death by D6. Roll 1, oh, gotta kill them. Anyway, that'll be interesting. Plus, gonna be doing Resident Evil The Village, and Guilty Gear Strive when it comes out. And it will be my very first Guilty Gear. Never played Guilty Gear before. So, that'll be interesting. In the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car is Rebecca. Turns just as I need, the corners of her mouth twitching up in a wry smile. She offers no greeting except a slight tilt of her head. Even as my pace slows, I look at her with unvoiced questions in my eyes. Is this Emily disguised as Becca? No, I'm pretty sure it's merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention at the starless sky when I come to sit beside her. 1, it's too gentle. 2, gust of wind blows and breathes out a sigh. She breathes, weary, thick with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away while she hugs her arms close to herself to keep her warm, which raises the question of why she's out here. The air is already heavy with the promise of rain. With clouds obscuring the view, there's really nothing left to look at but the dark blanket of nothingness. I want to double check to make sure it's recording. I know I checked this and I need to try to stop doing that, but I just wanted to make sure. Still she stands here as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That or she's here for some other reason. But before I can voice a single word, express a disapproval of any kind, she raises a halting hand at me, simply cutting off the rest of my question. I will say this, I can never play Deathmark.
Stop you. Wherever it
because
is you're
Deathmark
planning
would
to
be way
go off
too
tonight,
graphic for you two.
Won't be able to anyway.
But it is a great visual
you look
novel.
like you've already made up your
but
mind.
It's very graphic.
Go back inside. It's going to rain soon.
It's a very, very
It'll probably
strong
be even
horror
heavier
novel.
than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
I will, in a moment. I just want to stay out here a bit for some air, away from the noise inside. Everything's been so chaotic these days. This little break is nice. Even if it means standing in the middle of a parking lot, of all places. Getting out of this mess would definitely be better, but hey,
I definitely think
you
Serrano
take what you can
peppers.
get, right?
It'll be over soon.
The confidence in my own words surprises even me. How do I know? Why am I so sure? When in truth, what I'm about to do is a last-ditch effort. If this fails, if I don't find anything, we're back to square one. It's the last lead I have. After this, we have nothing else to go off from. Yeah, we kind of needed a sax help. Regardless, it seems to amuse her, and her laughter soon sounds above the murmur of the distant traffic and the light draft sweeping around us.
How I wish. I'll be content as long as she stops showing up in my mind whenever I close my eyes.
I think that may take some time. The brain doesn't easily forget trauma.
I can try, but you know, it also did a lot to us.
Tell me about it. The back of my head's still smarting from my fall last night.
Not that kind. I'm talking about us. As people. I hate to admit it, but this whole deal with the ghost, with the curse, it also brought out an ugly side to us.
Yeah, it's called panic.
To all of us. And
That's normal. Human
and
beings
it made me
can't cope
realize
very well with that
plenty
thing.
of things. About myself, about us.
Rebecca trails off. Suddenly, pensive expression spreads across her face. I have seen it countless times before. Unlike me, who will rather forget, she remembers each of them so easily. After a short bout of silence, when she smiles, I know this is one of those times again.
Do you remember that one time back in secondary?
Which one? We did a lot of dumb things back then. Well, I did, but you get the point.
Mandy.
I thought you still don't like her. Don't tell me you've kept in contact with her. Are you guys friends now or something?
Oh no. We do see each other sometimes. On the way to work or when I go out for lunch, but it's nothing like that. We're not friends. Not in this lifetime. I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get along, but if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be friends, yeah? You stood up for me that day. And from then on, things have changed.
Well, you're a hero to her. Chances are, it would have escalated, and who knows. Maybe she would have stopped going to school or transferred. But yeah, Deathmark gets a bit... I mean, you got a freaking possessed plant dude. You have a really obese man filled with spiders and bees that goes around with a drill, drilling holes in people, then pouring honey so they get made into blood-filled... Well, they already blood-filled their people. But basically, the bees make the bodies into hives.
I guess...
Then you got a elongated
what I'm
neck
trying to
ghost
get
bride
at
from
is
Witcher 3 eating people's
this
eyeballs.
time,
You got
I don't want this to
a
go
cursed
unsaid.
Buddha statue
You know,
that is
just in case something happens.
basically several mangled
Gosh,
women's
I've
bodies
always been in love
mashed
with you.
together in weird ways. I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, there's also the psycho teacher person who has the face of a severed pig and the arms of snakes and the legs of an ostrich. It's filled with so much gore and sexual content of the not so nice variety It is definitely not suitable for YouTube. But I suggest it. There's also a DLC for it where there's a Red Riding Hood / Spider Woman. And no, that's not sexy sounding at all. It's actually pretty
Since
gross.
that time in secondary?
And
Since
not.
I made that
But it's a good
promise
story.
to
Also,
Emily,
there is a big
I've always-
twist to the story
always
that I'm not
truly
going to
loved
spoil. But I'll say you should enjoy it. It is definitely a very good story. I would strongly recommend. And they made a sequel to it called Spirit NG. Aside from that, I definitely recommend Raging Loop and AI Somnium Files. Also, Song of Memories. And, well, I'd say this one too. And Crimson Grey. Because as much as it pains me to admit it, I can't give her the same affection she's asking from me. Yeah, because we're not going that path. And a future path, yes. Hell, we practically grew up together, but that never automatically means I'll hold for her feelings that goes beyond the boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate her presence in my life, though. I'm more than glad she's stuck with me, even through the toughest moments. Yeah, I probably should have actually let them properly say this. Since I have always, always truly loved you. But of course we have the auto update where it's like, yeah, we did not, go that path. We'll get that later. I should stop rambling so much during these things and actually focus on the game I am playing. But
Rebecca,
I draw in a breath, ragged and unsure. Uncertain how and which words to put together so it hurt less, so the wounds they might leave won't be as deep or a scar. There are going to be so different endings for this, though before I can even string two phrases, she lifts a hand to my mouth and silences me. A smile on her face kinder than every single one I have seen from her so far. It's nice to see it on her. It suits her more than the glares or the frowns. But at the same time, it only serves to baffle me.
You don't have to answer me.
yeah, but you should... I should...
No, I mean, you don't need to.
Okay, now I'm really confused.
Basically,
One moment you're saying you've been in love with me since secondary.
she knows
now
your
you're telling me
answer
to
and she
shut up.
doesn't. She feels bad
If you
about.
want to interpret it like that, all right.
No, really. Some explanation would be nice, Becca. Because a lot of things are going on right now, and I'm afraid I can't catch up. Especially with this curveball you just threw.
It means what it means, Ashton. You don't need to answer me. I don't really need to hear it anymore. It's not that I don't want to. Believe me, if I were the same person I was before this whole thing happened to us, I'd be elated, excited even. But like I said, I also realized some things. Understood myself more. Ash, I did love you. Ever since we were kids, all those times you defended me from bullies. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Even
Basically,
after
because I had
this,
such low
and
affection, she changed
at
her
the
mind.
end of the day, once you take a closer look at everything, it also turned me into a really selfish person. When you think about it, maybe the Ashton I loved isn't the one standing in front of me right now. Maybe all this time, I'm still clinging on to that aloof kid I met 17 years ago. I didn't even consider that you have a mind of your own. That one day, it won't just be the two of us. That you'll find someone else and it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Becca.
Not even sure what I'm apologizing for. That I can't return her feelings. Or because I'm somehow holding myself responsible for this. Even up until now, I had no idea how she felt. You guys are terrible at communication. Regardless, she continues to smile through all of it.
It's not your fault. Don't say that. I'm the one who should apologize. Since I suddenly sprung this up on you when you have other things to do, I just thought I should let you know. So I can finally let this whole thing go. One question though. Are you going to tell her?
Tell what to who?
I pause, frowning a brief moment of doubt while I try to figure out what she's talking about all of a sudden. When it sinks in, through bewilderment, hastily gives way to utter embarrassment. Well, obviously we can't tell her now because the ghost thing.
Oh, shit.
Heat abruptly crawls my face, no matter how my efforts to keep it down. In the end, I can only look away from her, afraid of what else she'll see in it.
Did you really think no one would notice?
Was it that obvious?
It was surprisingly easy to tell, but that was probably because I've known you longer than anyone.
Fuck, who else knows?
I think Zach suspects.
Shit.
You're embarrassingly lame when you're trying too
That's...
hard.
I know
It's
that
almost
was supposed to
painful
be
watch.
kind
Don't
of
worry.
like adorable
Your
and playful,
terrible way of
but it
learning.
comes off as
And knowing
really...
I'm
really
quite
a downer,
sure Bill has
since
no idea.
Zach
even
is
now.
dead.
Not even a clue.
I can't tell her
Yeah,
now because
really
of the ghost
harsh.
shit.
I think
It's
he's
not
overconfident,
appropriate. It's almost like taking advantage of her. I don't know. Feel free to say in the comments down below. Would you tell her? I'll probably get the option at some point. I'll probably have to in order to get a good ending. But I'm just not sure. Like, just given the
I'm
circumstances.
serious though. Tell her. And if you ever make her cry, I'll hit you with every damn history book I have on my shelf. Clear?
Noted, ma'am.
Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I won't keep you long. I
Yep.
know you have things to do.
There's gonna be multiple endings.
Promise me you'll be careful.
So
alright?
many multiple endings. This is a very long game and very complex. But that makes for the best kind of visual novel. Caught unawares by the gesture for a few moments, I fight for purchase against my car's trunk, bracing my hand on its smooth surface. When I look up, with a string of reprimands ready to tip my tongue, Becca's already halfway through the parking lot. On a whim, I let notes be the last thing I commit to memory before slipping inside the car and driving off. It sounds like a new beginning more than anything. Another reason to be optimistic. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxborn and heading straight for Anselm Village. In the distance, flashes of light light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble, seconds later echoing long across the sky. And with one last roar, the skies open up in earnest. Hey, we made it to November! Kind of. The rainfall is fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in the city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Lucky me. I've reached the mansion before the downpour has turned into torrential. The long slog from the Anselm village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and the biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. By the time I found cover enough under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. My hair is also sticking against my skin, and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, taser, and gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. We're gonna find a dead Marianne at some point. Sometime after the housewarming party, Scumbag, Wright, has suddenly grown a brain and tightened security around the mansion. Likely because of what Zack did. A guard is now stationed in every possible port of entry. The main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's almost a miracle no one has spotted me once I entered the property. Although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way in for myself under this deluge, it'll be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
Considering how off this place feels since I've stepped on the property and the mansion came into view. I'm pretty sure all the guards are going to get killed by Emily. Every light is off, even with the security personnel on patrol outside. The house itself feels empty. It feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally I'll pass it off as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far-off conclusion when the place is almost in the middle of nowhere, but rich people. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Lots of things happened here, and are happening, and will continue to happen. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening for anything I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way in, desperately so, moving without thinking will only endanger me. With so many unknown variables and what we're dealing with, I also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially by the place. I can't act impetuously. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in prison, not a morgue. We still gotta play as Luke, by the way. So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of the rain, only then do I stir. And that's who Zack tried to save. But, actually, it could actually be Marianne that was doing that crying. So Zack was trying to save Marianne. Does that mean I don't know. Carefully keeping the shadows one cautious step after another. Louder and louder it goes as I near. Abruptly it turns into a loud, desperate, anguished cry. So Zack was trying to save the ghost. I break into a run. One nervous hand, ready on the gun holstered by hip, and the other raised for balance as I scurry across the dense understory. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay it no mind. There is only the voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly it all stops, and I am met with a sudden hush. Okay, blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness. Even with my labored breathing and the pounding heartbeats against my ear, behind me another branch breaks, and dread surges with me to spin around and take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks at the back of my neck. I feel like I'm getting mixed messages here. But before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting, and tilting to the ground beneath me suddenly crumbles. What? My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. But then it's too late. Do we fall off a cliff? My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that are the voices, lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and dry. Over it's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over. Again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. What I'm trying desperately to fix. A scream threatens to burst when my throat closes off, ever so slowly. A chill seeps into every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me apart from one. Fear. There is only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Half darkness greets me when my eyes are snap open to a soft patter of dripping water somewhere, spurring my consciousness further. Well, if Marianne's alive, we get to save her. For a few short moments, I remain still, blinking away the dizziness. Well, allowing my vision to adjust to lack of light and the breathing to even out at first, before pushing myself up one arm and attempting to stand. Are we gonna get to save Marianne? Turning alone is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right in my arms and my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
You probably did if you feel that. There doesn't seem to be an injury or a major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I skidded down prior to landing myself here. How? What? A comforting. Did you fall? The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light draft blows in from where I've fallen in, coming in short, sharp bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel, and brings in the fresh, earthly smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty scent of the place, a mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctly foul, like death. Marianne, are you alive? More worrisome than a putrid, festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Marianne's in one of them. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside some of them. I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected the finding existence of this place, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me reel as well. I've known long ago this place like this tend to hold secrets. This, though? If this is just a tip iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind the fucking letter. But the fear is inconsequential, as unpleasant as the sight of this is, this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I pushed away from the wall and delved deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Turns out that alone is too much for ask this early. Marianne? Are we finding Marianne? No 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls. Maybe she's alive! Rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel before fading away just as swiftly as it rang. Okay, so we get to save Marianne. I paused nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually moved my hand to my side, slow and steady until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole passage.
Who's there?
Marianne's alive! Perhaps it's because of what happened earlier and how I've ended up here, or maybe it's because of my training. Don't shoot her in the head. Don't shoot Marianne. Don't. I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster, wordlessly draw closer to the voice that rings out once again. This place must be pretty damn soundproof if Luke doesn't hear you. At least you're alive.
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
But yes, you're alive. It's only after I release the safety do I answer, while continuing my approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself.
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that, or have a conversation like this, or be stuck anywhere. I don't know, I've seen some hentai. And as far as if to prove a point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the iron bars, and rattles it lightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell. And sure enough, there's a woman inside. Slumped on the floor. I can't see her. Holding the bars with shaky hands. I don't see anybody, though. All I see is an empty room. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
The same one I met, 5 days ago, smashed drunk and babbling her frustrations about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. McCullough. Marianne McCullough, famous interior design extraordinaire. You know, most people when they hire an interior decorator do not use her as the interior decoration. Her breathing shallow, and there's a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs pointing to starvation and dehydration. Don't you bring cereal bars everywhere, Ashton? Give her a cereal bar.
How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in and that woman... Whatever. Can you get me out of here? Please.
In a moment. But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
Yay! You brought an energy bar! For sudden emergencies, for extended stakeouts, a little sugar to keep me going. Like any starving person, she wastes no time in making a grab for it, unwrapping it straight away, and taking in whole mouthfuls of it. Relief washes over her face after the first bite alone, although she's going to need more than that if what she said is true. Yeah, but it's enough to help her for a moment. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. True. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort if the puddle on the corner of the cell indicates anything. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it average 3 weeks. Though, even then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some survived longer than that. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now to get her out. My bobby pins won't be of any use here. Not like I need it. Unlike the ones we have in the precinct, a simple barrel hinge holds... Can we shoot the gate open? Or are we going to like Metal Gear Solid alert the ghost? Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free it. Oh. However, with how heavy it seems, I'll need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, a 2x4, I guess, a plank or a pipe, anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. While I may find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in one. Yeah, because we might get locked in too. We can't have another person trapped in here. However, McCullough ended up inside.
Well, there's no.
My head snaps back to her. It'll work, but that's still kind of fucked up that pillories and stuff like that were used in the past. Pick the stick and serve it with an intended purpose. Upon closer inspection,
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end plank at the base of the door and applying ample force on the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still a grunt, a gasp, a creak. In a matter of minutes with little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly, metallic thud, but the sound of it puts the elation. Would McCullough have died if she hadn't gone in here? Because I thought I had chosen poorly, but maybe I chose wisely. She doesn't ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she has accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out of here, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much. After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there.
I'm pretty sure I'd be sure of that after 5 minutes.
Today. I don't even want to think about it.
How did you even end up here?
For a second, she appears hesitant, looking away from fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for something. Someone.
Contemplative expression flickers eyes. Something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last too long, but it still leaves the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private. Something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry, and I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
What do you mean?
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. People died in this place. Kids! Oh God! Kids!
What
I could
kind
tell
of
you,
fuck?
but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited
Oh.
for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there? But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
McCullough, one at a time.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh God! Oh God! Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer.
McCullough!
I do agree that Ash is kind of right here. I know Ethan, I criticized him for trying to question his wife when she's trying to rescue her. But here's the thing. He went there to save somebody. Here, we came here to stop the threat that won't leave us alone outside. So the only way to escape is straight into the fucking ghost face. The longer this takes, the faster descent into it becomes. I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up here, there will be the horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me.
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet?
Been there.
An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not. He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It's like, yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I got locked in a dungeon for 4 days, I wouldn't give a shit about Luke or Hannah. I'm like, let them die. I'm getting the fuck out and going to a buffet. Get some peach buns. And some egg rolls and crab ragoons. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. At the same time, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods, albeit weakly. Then, without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Occasionally she'll stop, find purchase on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk, she asks for neither a break nor assistance. I suppose that's something we have in common. Yep, you're both very independent. Eventually we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall. Tracing her fingers along the withered edges of the bricks, with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence, and continues searching. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar to reveal a glimpse of another room. Bottles lining the walls, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare, but after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? I can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. I simply follow her to the undercroft without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. It's kind of like everyone's like, yeah, I'd like to be a superhero and stuff, but really? You're in life and death situations all the time. You're constantly going to almost die. The only reason the main character doesn't die is because it's a story. It takes a lot of hard work and pain and suffering. And I mean, take Resident Evil movies. One, it does not work to pay. It doesn't pay to work for Umbrella. They fuck over all their employees and treat them just as disposable as the people they fucking experiment on. Who would have thought Umbrella, a giant billionaire corporation, would not have any loyalty to its workers? That being said, I mean, take the main character. It basically amounts to you're a homeless person in a lab in the first movie. The second one, you're essentially a wandering homeless person out on the streets fighting a zombie apocalypse. Third one, you're a person just wandering without a place to live, with no real resources, in a desert where fruit cups and pork and beans is considered delicacy. You know, you don't have TV, you don't have movies, you don't have music, air conditioning, heat, proper clothes. I mean, hell, how often can you take a shower and you wouldn't be able to brush your teeth, you wouldn't be able to use proper hygiene, you probably wouldn't even be able to wipe your own ass with hardly anything. And the constant threat of death at all times, and no proper medical care if you really ever get hurt. It'd be horrible. And it's just a lot of times where stuff's our adventures, like it's really cool. Like, take the Slayers anime. Like, oh, you got powers and skills and special abilities, and you see all these amazing things. But at the same time, you're sleeping out on a blanket in the middle of a field, in the dark, in a world with monsters. I mean, and a lot of times, like, yeah, you occasionally have a feast, but that's like every couple weeks. And that's really just like, I mean, just going to an average Chinese buffet would be, you know, far more luxurious and amazing compared to that. I mean, how wonderful the medical care we have nowadays, all the food we have available. Like I said, a Chinese buffet sounds amazing. The crab ragoons are delicious. And I think I could get a pizza, cheeseburgers, Pepsi, tacos, crepes, anything delicious. You know? And I tend to take like 15 showers a week, and I mean, I wear deodorant, I wear cologne, and even though I brush my teeth, I still use mouthwash and some mints. Could you imagine not being able to wash your clothes? Or have deodorant? Could you imagine, like, granted, I can imagine there was, at one point in 2004, I was up in the mountains for a few weeks, and granted, it got kind of high up there, and eventually I started getting dehydrated because all the water I was drinking, I was having to treat with a form of iodine. I can't remember what exactly was what kind it was. It was some sort of pill capsule that dissolved in water. It was to keep from getting, you know, any kind of parasites. But, you know, it was a couple weeks without bathing, without toilet paper, without deodorant, without toothpaste, without cologne or anything, and basically wearing the same couple outfits for like a couple weeks while spending most of the day, you know, traveling through the mountains itself, which that works up a fucking sweat. And sometimes it would start to rain, and you can't really find cover in the middle of the damn mountains. So it was a fun, exciting experience to go mountain climbing, but it was so damn exhausting, and there was no way to describe it other than looking back on it. It just feels like work, but it was a fun to be able to be in nature like that. But I wouldn't want to live that way, and hell, I would much prefer to be able to lay down on my queen size, you know, compression spring mattress, which is super comfortable and pillow top and all sorts of comfy, than ever sleep outside ever again. I have a super comfy bed, and I am very grateful for it, that I can hop under a bunch of blankets, throw on the fan, listen to music, or ASMR, or play a video game. Like, I could just wake up in the middle of sleeping and decide, oh, I'll play a little bit of a video game. Or, you know, use a bathroom, or take a shower, or take a bath. I'll say this, it is really nice to take a shower with another person. Though, usually it ends up with one person being really cold and the other person a bit hot. It's kind of hard to share the water. It is fun to make out with someone, you know, in the shower, though it is a little slippery, but, you know, you can at least avoid slipping and getting hurt too badly or anything. Though, if you try to do anything sexual, you tend to have problems. Like, it's nice to make out and have fun in the shower. It's just, you can't do anything, you know, I don't know why I feel embarrassed trying to say this, but, you know, eating a girl out or getting blown, because you tend to start, you know, drown in the water. But the other thing is this, you can't really have sex in the shower, because you can't line things up. I've tried. It doesn't line up right. It just, for some reason in the shower, I just, like, there was no way to make that angle work. Like, it just, the geometry of that just would not line up. But it is fun to just, you know, make out in the shower. But it's just, it's hard to share that water, and one of you always winds up freezing. So, just don't slip. But yeah, main point is this. All these amazing adventures you see in the movies, here's the thing. that's not really an adventure. It's people doing work. It's people going through stuff that's painful, physically and emotional, that's likely to kill them, that's not pleasant. It might be exciting, but at the same time, it's like, well, this is exciting, but also we're covered in bruises, there's cuts everywhere, we're going to be sick and exhausted for a few days, and there's a good chance we're going to die. Like, if you look at it from that way, anything that's an adventure is terrible, because it just amounts to, surviving something that in any other circumstance, you'd call it what it is. Traumatic, and terrifying, and painful, and lonely, and making you sick. Like in the Resident Evil 4 movie, where they're crawling through tunnels. I mean, that's not a smooth tunnel. It's not made for spelunking. It's not like you're having a nice little fun guided tour through a clean out cave where you're looking at stalagmites and stalactites and everything's safe. No, you're surrounded by zombies that are trying to murder you, and you're having to crawl sideways through a thing that has jagged rocks everywhere, so you're cutting and bruising yourself all over. It just, that's not fun. I'd rather just be able to, enjoy going to the movies with a really cute girl, or sit in my room and play Halo, or just go for a walk and pick up a pizza, or crank up the music, listen to some Rammstein, lift some weights, and read Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons, the book, which is meant to be used as playing a game, but I don't have anyone to play with, so I just enjoy reading it because the Rick comments are hilarious. I'm looking forward to Overlord Season 4. So, if all the light novels that are currently made were made into anime, it'd probably be up to a Season 6. Though, the author said he does plan to finish the series soon, but that would probably end at a Season 7, if it were all made into an anime. There is also a spin-off story he does, which is not part of that story at all, but there's a spin-off story where instead of, when Ainz or Momonga finds himself and staying left behind after Yggdrasil, instead of being transplanted someplace with Nazarick and all his servants and his people, Albedo and all that, instead, he's just by himself in a random area. And it becomes like a post-apocalyptic world. But it's not the real world, and it's not Yggdrasil, but it's not the new world he went to. And he doesn't have anyone with him, he's alone, but he's got all his powers. That being said, he finds a woman who's traveling around, and he becomes friends with her. And he stays more of a anti-hero. He still is willing to kill people, but he's a lot more kind to people. And here's the thing. Instead of going by the name Momonga, or even Ainz, he actually goes by his real life name. His normal human name. And acts basically like a normal human, and still acts with compassion toward people, even if he doesn't feel that way. And he only kills when he absolutely has to. So he's a lot more merciful. But it's a whole different take on the story. I would definitely recommend the anime series Slayers, which has whole tons of light novels with it. But there's a lot of fan fictions about it, mainly by a guy named Tu Florian, that has 3 huge novels. I think they were Reflection, Chaos, and Rebirth. He also made a couple other paths called Diverge and Virtual. They're all very well and good, but I have not read those in about a decade, and while they are absolutely like creme de la creme of the greatest of light novel fan fictions, I would say be careful what site you go on, because you don't know if you could get a virus. So, be careful, guys. Anyway, I'll hop back in this. Main point is this. Anything that's really considered an adventure, like being Ashton right now, would this be super exciting? Yes. Would it be awful and horrible and you'd wish for it to end at every moment? Yes! It's horrible. It's amazing that I, myself, can sit here in the comfort of my own room and enjoy this amazing story with non-diegetic music, mind you. And, I mean, you guys know what diegetic means, so I don't need to explain that. But I'm just saying, for us to have non-diegetic music, that is amazing. I mean, if it was diegetic, then, I mean, Ash would definitely have some weird shit going on. But the fact that that I can just sit here in comfort, enjoying his story, and enjoy non-diegetic music on top of that is amazing. Anyway, I need to get back into this. I'm sorry. I need to stop going off tangents and rambling about everything. I need to focus on the game that I am playing. I feel like I'm getting more and more scatterbrained lately. Like, my mind just doesn't want to... Like, I'm reading this stuff in my head, but yet I can't seem to stop talking about random other shit, even though I'm supposed to be reading it. It's a novel. I'm supposed to be reading this. Although she has been quite helpful so far, I can't shake off the horrible feeling that something's going to happen to her if she stays with me. Even if I'm her safest...
You really believe that, don't you?
Oh, God.
Did you say something?
I didn't.
Did you hear
sure?
the voice?
Just heard.
Don't you think I'll be the first person who will know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
Is that supposed to be Becca's voice? Sounds like Becca's voice. I don't know. Mirrors, shards litter the floor? And right on the biggest fragments. Okay. I can see the girl's voice. Becca, Isabel, Emily the ghost, because she doesn't have a name and I'm giving her a name. Lacing venom into every crevice in my head. Taunting me here.
You dragged another person into this action.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own. You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
Yeah, why are you defending yourself from a broken mirror? Like, don't take a psychotic, malicious ghost as, you know, since...
Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps?
What about Zack?
Yeah, he's dead.
Wrongfully accused. You couldn't even get him out.
I feel like this would go different.
Someone's dead because of you!
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How
Yeah.
does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all.
If it's too late to help, then why does the ghost keep saying help me?
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure. And they are the ones who have to pay for it.
Stop using Zach's
A
voice.
badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. the case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together.
Hey, he was a kid. He's
No
not.
wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without
Hey.
below you.
Hey.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you
I'll say this. If
Some
any of you out
friends
there
you are,
ever had your
some
parents go through a
son you
divorce,
are.
know this. Unless there's some unusual circumstance that I'm not privy to, it is not your fault. Usually, if your parents got a divorce, it's because of something that happened that had nothing to do with you, that you had no effect on, and you couldn't have any effect on even if you knew about it and tried. It's stuff that's, either had to do with one of your parents, both, or outside circumstances. But I'll say this. If your parents were ever divorced, it was not your fault. So, I don't know everyone's circumstance and there's always bound to be exceptions, but I'll say this. In general, parents don't get divorced because of a child. They get divorced because of something one of the parents did, or both. Or because of outside circumstances they can't control. But, if for whatever reason, basically, if something happens, you lose people, don't blame yourself.
You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
Actually, you know what this makes me feel, Ghost? It makes me feel like I have no sympathy for you. Because you know what this requires? You know what this mere taunting requires? Intelligence. The fact that you're able to taunt me in such a way means that you are still intelligent and collected mentally enough to form coherent ways to fuck with me, which means you are still mentally glued together enough to be responsible for your actions as a psycho ghost. So yes, you went through some shit, but you know what?
Shut it! Not
You
a single
are
word
aware
anymore.
that I didn't do shit to you. So regardless of how pissed you are, and right you are to be hurt, angry at other people, the thing is this, I didn't do shit to you. Neither did Zach. Zach would have helped you if there was a way to actually help you.
Don't listen to it!
The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me, flooding my every senses. All at once, there is this deafening silence. Slowly I became aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, bottles of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding on my wrist as if to keep me from hurting myself. Was he going to cut himself with the mirror? A shard drips of blood from the hand that's cut my palm. Trailing down your wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is pain, however, different kind, an ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but from every world that has been hit. Was she possessing your mind when you were all angry? When I glance at my collar, she merely stares at me wide, horrified eyes. Could you hear the ghost?
Don't listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says. It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters, but only after I nod and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterwards, she simply steps back and looks away, hugging her arm closer to herself. She breathes a sigh, heavy. Perhaps weighted with her own guilt, with this monster might have used her against her.
Come on, we're getting close.
She walks off without another comment, but there's another worry in her that gives fragments one last glimpse. On the ground there lay lifeless now, no more voices, no more insults, but even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my
It's
ears.
useless, Ashton Frey. You are going to die.
Like I said, this...
You are going to die alone.
I got got you there. Even if you fucking kill me, I got Marianne with me, so I won't die alone. So take that. And here's the thing. The fact that you're able to talk to me like this means that you have enough intelligence left to know what you are doing is wrong. That you are hurting innocent people that didn't do shit to you. So you know, you are still collected enough to know that you are fucking up, that you are doing wrong. So you know what this means? Whatever tiny amount of sympathy I felt for you is drained away by the fact that you know that you are hurting people who didn't do shit to you. Meanwhile, Wright won't touch anything to do with menial chores, not even with a 10-foot to a pole. It's next to impossible for him to linger here. No servants. They're all dead. No, anyway, everyone's dead. And just as easy as that, we're in. Gently, I close the hatch. If things go well, the same path will be our way out. If our luck doesn't hold, that's not an option, is it? I have people waiting for me. I really don't want to think what might happen. Sometimes it's best if we simply revel in the little victories. Like jalapeno poppers. Who was the first person to make that? Blessings and everything else is going against you. They're great blessings. And in a place like this, fraught with unknown dangers, it's a feeling that lasts only but a second. Suddenly a sob. We know it's you! Not gonna fall for your shit again. Yeah, I don't blame her. She's probably been hearing this for 4 fucking days. Her eyes go wide as she grips the side of the counter with force that might be enough to crack it, if only she has the strength. Yeah, I mean, as it is, she can barely stand. She hasn't fully recovered. Makes sense of 3 more days without proper food. We're in the kitchen! If there was ever a time to open the refrigerator and make a midnight snack, this is it! This is the time for a midnight snack.
Holmes, I really don't think going any further is a good idea.
The kitchen.
Look at this place. Everything seems fine. Nothing's off. Maybe we should just go? I really don't like the sound of that.
You really don't have to come with me. Just until the kitchen, yeah? We're already here. You've done your part.
She's dying of starvation. We're in the kitchen.
Yes, I said
Open
that, but
Can you even
the
stay?
fridge. Midnight snack. I'm pretty sure they probably have caffeinated
Yourself
drinks in
more
here.
danger if you follow after me.
Come on.
Easy way out of here.
You gotta have the breakfast of
Stay here.
champions.
Once
Red
we're ready,
Bull
I need
and
to get yourself
Cadbury
out of this
eggs.
place.
what?
Hell.
I'm not going to leave you.
Cook yourself a skillet
Not
of
taking you with
bacon.
me either, lady. So it's here or out there.
You really are mad, aren't you?
Probably all will be, if no one fixes this little curse problem we have.
You think you'll find something in here? This is just a mansion, for God's sake.
Maybe it's worth a shot. Besides, if what we're hearing right now says anything, I'd say scumbags.
Sleep.
Right. He might be knee-deep in trouble and he has
How
no
is he
idea
not
about
hearing this? Even Isabella may be able to use it without proper. What? Are you calling her clumsy?
Listen, you want to wait? Fine. I'm leaving this with you. But if I don't come back here within 15 minutes, I want you to backtrack and get the hell out of here.
Are you daft, Holmes? I already told you.
In case something goes wrong, I need someone who can tell people what's going on.
We
All
have
my friends
phones,
might have
don't
had it
we?
here. They're at the crawl. You know the place, right?
I trail off, letting the meaning of my words hang in the air. I want to be optimistic about this, really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. Yep, we could very well die. I'm surprised Marianne lived. I'm being realistic with my chances. Collis seems to understand this as well, after what I've said. Any sign of protest has already died from her tongue, and she simply looks at the taser quietly. After a moment, she just nods. Make yourself a midnight snack. If there was ever a time for you to make a midnight snack, this is it. Hell! Ghost! People live here now, Emily. Okay, I heard a laugh in that cry. I'm calling you out on your fucking bullshit, Ghost. Yes, people did terrible things to you. But you are not being very nice to us. I'm just saying this. People moved in. You were like, hey, I want to haunt you. But instead, could you cook some beer brats? Okay, I wouldn't mind sharing.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
They're dead. Then again, I'm just saying this. How is no one else responding to the ghost?
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
I wonder if he's found out by this point. Does he still not know? His wife has been possessed for the past few days. Okay, we are overdue for ghost shenanigans. So come on, bring on the dicknanigans.
But necessary.
I mean, yeah, it's dumb to go face first in danger like this, but really, you don't have a choice anymore. I will say this, the whole dust lighting effect in this game is a very nice touch. Well, I mean, it's not that big of a mansion, is it? Where the woman's cries are leading me. Probably that attic. Also, what the fuck did the people that lived here originally do? Like, I feel still kind of confused on all that. They're probably all dead. I mean, technically, even though the calendar said November 1st, technically this is Halloween night.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
It's a haunted mansion with an active poltergeist that is actually murdering people in every other building of the neighboring city. And it's Halloween night. If there was ever a time for this to become the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And there we are. Happens to blink by, I almost miss it. How would you miss this? And how is there blood on the ceiling and on the chandelier? Who has that high of blood pressure? I call bullshit painting. I don't know if you guys can see this. My mouse. But this painting here moved. Her arms moved. I couldn't see what they did. But this painting moved. I swear. Go back and check the video. You guys have that power in YouTube land with the cyber people. So you know what? I swear. This painting moved. along with the boys. What?
Where are you, Mother?
That sounds like Hannah's voice.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Probably the attic, but still, I'm kind of confused. Upstairs, in an attic. Place not entirely empty, then a better question is who? Also, how are all the people that actually do live here not? Everyone is probably dead. Does sound like Hannah's voice, yes. At some point I'm going to be given some sort of choice that either will get Ash killed or not. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. Also, here's another thing. We're in the rich people's house. Other than getting Makala a midnight snack, you know what else we could have done? We could have grabbed something out of the fridge and walked while eating it. Hell, we could have taken a whole fucking chocolate cake and just walked around the mansion, eating the chocolate cake, chugging a gallon of milk, and you know what? And here's the thing. Oh no, what if we see the ghost? Throw the milk at her! I mean, I'm not going to have to clean up the chocolate cake and milk all over the floor later. So why not? Just get the chocolate cake, a gallon of milk, and just walk around the building, eating the chocolate cake and drinking milk right out of the milk jug. And if we see the ghost...
She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me. She won't leave, Mother. I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away.
I don't...
Mother, she's here! Help!
I don't understand. Bring, banana phone. Ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo. Cellular, modular, intact, modular. Bring. But yeah. Come on. I'm sure they had something good, leftovers or something. Like, what's the point of breaking into a rich person's mansion if we're not going to raid the fridge?
She's going to hurt me! Help
Now, yes, I feel it's unethical to steal, but I am going to eat your fridge! And I am going to walk around your house with the chocolate cake and a milk jug and just nom. Then, without wasting a second, I push the door open. And... Hi! Oh, you do not look well. She sits in the middle room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she has heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing undisturbed, like I'm standing in a time far removed from her. She doesn't look Hannah, but probably a descendant? Ancestor. That's...
Hey, are you
He's
alright?
got his hand on his gun, but... What else say?
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
What?
I can still hear her. She's here.
I am...
Help me! Help me, please!
I don't understand! Blood on her hands. It's the same as drenching the whole attic. I'd rather... So, it was probably her that wrote the letter, but... Okay, so she was the one who wanted the help. So she was the one who wrote the letter because she wanted help. But the one she's wanting help from... Okay, so here's the thing. There was the couple that was probably involved in whatever fucked up shit happened. They freed a slave, then kept it a slave. Then she was a witch, and then they killed that person. Then they wound up being cursed by that person, killed themselves. And then the daughter got haunted by the ghost. So then she got drove mad into this point, wrote the letter saying, help me, please. This is the person that was asking for help. And the ghost was a vengeful spirit that murdered her parents, murdered her. Her parents might have deserved it, though, from, what I saw in the basement. But this person, probably not so much, given the fact that she would have been a child at that point. Then again, the whole Saint Goretti thing is already kind of fucked up, so that's based on a real thing. And I looked that up on Wikipedia, and I'm like, oh god, that's awful. So, it's a whole grab bag of sad. But yeah. No Easter Bunny here. I'm assuming no. He probably never even walked into this room. He'd be like, oh, it's a storage room. They're all probably dead. He's bad news, alright, but this is beneath him. He'll definitely balk at the first sight of anyone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, you'd have to be pretty tired or hungry to not be bothered by this shit. Letting her sobs fill the room. Repeating the words over and over again, like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she has left on the floor? Just what the hell is happening?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of the question never makes it out. Do you still have eyeballs? I don't even see it coming. See what coming? Should have been more aware and on guard, really? There's little I can do when a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. What? Momentum alone sends me forward. It barely registers in my head. The woman's gone, and the woman's room is as normal as before. Not above the pain suddenly shooting into my side when I hit the floor. My bearings back hard enough to blow his stomach caused me to buckle down, land heavily on me. Is this the butler? I feel like the butler is probably the one that burned down that building. He seems like he's perfectly okay with the idea of attacking random people. All before I can turn it, level, and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it. I am Judo Man! Hard, a gasp, a grunt, a cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach and slides it uselessly under the bed. Great, because the ghost is definitely going to be there later. Agony explodes from my chin, jerking loose a sharp pain. Stars fill the edges of my vision. Why is the butler kicking my ass? Dude! It's one thing to disarm me. It's another thing that you're trying to, outdo Conor fucking McGregor. Are you trying to kill me? It seems like you're not trying to just disable me. It seems like you're attempting to kill me.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
Why is the butler killing everyone? It was the butler! Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
What?
Go! You asshole!
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude.
Also, if you want me to talk, stop choking me! I can't
into
talk!
other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam? dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney.
This is
I
when
assure
you.
It will be more painful than this.
This is when you try to get out. I'm a cop. My lungs feel like they're burning with lack of air. Dark spots. Yeah, you're about to black out. You're not getting enough oxygen. Yeah, that's what happens when you black out. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me. And without meaning to, probably gonna think about the ghost.
Get away from him!
Isabel? Hear that voice as if the doused with a bucket of ice cold water? Did they follow me in here? And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately my eyes snap open. And right there on Addict's Roy stands Isabella of all people with the taser. And a rolling pin. Standard issue police taser on my taser. Where was Marianne? Marianne must have called people immediately. Yes! That was so smart! Thank you! Hell, the way she holds it, this guy can easily disarm her in one hit. It's not like she's an expert. I would probably hold it the same way. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without putting up a fight, it seems. Admiral, really, if it's not something we need right now. Yes, you do! If there is no other time where you would need it more. And at least, it's gonna work on him. Yes, because Hal was being strangled in an attic, keeping her safe.
Oh,
What?
This is just getting better
Why?
and better.
What the fuck is wrong?
Bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know.
What
Tell
the?
me, how many of you are there? So I can prepare the proper number of bags.
Why are what? This makes it sound like you're actually killing people. Zach would be here as well if he was alive. Did she really have to run in here and expose herself? Yeah, you're being strangled by Psycho Butler, who actually sounds like he's getting off on this. He'd be like, hey, you want to guess something? What as you're blacking out? My hard dick in your... like, fuck. Actually... yeah, how is doing things alone working? Mr. Every part of you is bruised at this point. She has the taser. Though my voice comes off nearly croak, I tried to tell her as much. But yeah, it makes it sound like you're actually killing people and enjoying it, Mr. Butler. And it makes it sound like you're actually...
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Okay, come on. That's like Frieza shooting a crippled Vegeta after he's basically laying there, a no threat to him, and he's like, "You see, Frieza? He's your worst nightmare. He is a Super Saiyan."
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Get out! 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 Val!
Don't be stupid! I'm not leaving you here!
Yeah, it sounds like he's getting off on this. Like, it's one thing to, like, are you possessed by the ghost? Yeah, it does sound like he's actually straight up murdered people. Like, it's one thing that you're, like, fighting somebody who is a burglar. It's another thing that...
if I were you, little girl.
But it sounds like he's actually enjoying this.
With a toy. Just hand it over and be on your way. It'll probably be too difficult for a little girl like you to use.
Okay, that's kind of sexist, you bastard. Late bloomer. Not a cry of pain, not a yell of panic, but one that's resolute. Firm. Her mouth is actually moving. Perhaps in a tone that's leagues fiercer than any I've heard from her before. Her mouth actually moved and changed, and her eyes
Try me! Ashton, duck!
more out of instinct and desire to survive. Close my eyes where my mind can fully process. And this is actually what love should be. You know, that you're willing to go this far to do whatever you have to save the person you care about. You should never be a threat to the person you care about. You should never try to control, hurt, or abuse the person you care about. But you should be willing to do whatever you have to protect them. That they should know that the safest place in the whole world would be asleep next to you, because you would never ever let anyone hurt them. That's what a relationship should be, where you actually feel safe with the other person, and being asleep to them should be the safest place in the universe. Like, it should be the last person who would ever hurt you. It's supposed to be the one place, above all, you should feel safe. Then, without much fuss, falls face first beside me, knocked unconscious by the 50,000 volts of electricity in a fucking rolling pin. I'm not sure how many volts it takes to kill someone, I can't remember. He'll be out for a while. I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. Yeah, he's gonna miss all the ghost stuff. And if there's anyone that deserves to be fucking terrified of the ghosts, or painfully, brutally killed while conscious and aware of it, it's the Doomkopf. A long, gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds we remained quiet, with only our short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline ebb away and both our breathing to slow. I don't know why this reminds you, but I've been enjoying Dado Doyo, Rhyme Style, Syriax, and all those guys playing Dragon Ball Fighters raid boss battles against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So yeah, go check out Syriax and Doyo and those guys playing against Gogeta SSJ4 in Dragon Ball Fighters. The boss raids are hilarious. I think the one against UI Goku is more funny, but I stir first once recovered, having regained some semblance of strength and sense. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving, although every small motion causes a wince. There will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy. I'm surprised we're not coming face to face with the ghost. Only after some small effort I am able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one of the handcuffs on his wrist while fastening the other one to the bed frame. I will feel no remorse for when the ghost kills you. All through this, Isabel stays quiet. In fact, she hasn't even moved since. Thank you. You deserve 3,000 hugs. Her hands still shake and taking long draws of breath while she stares vacantly in front of her, almost as if she's in shock. Perhaps she isn't expecting any result, spurred only by some kind of desperation. Now it's sinking in. Unfortunately, we need to get moving. We don't have time to wait for everything to register in our heads. Kneeling in front of her, I give her a light shake.
Belle, we need to go. We can't stay here.
Slowly she turns, staring at me with wide eyes. Worry flickers briefly in them, along with something ineffable. Then, without warning, she lifts a hand and slaps me right across the face. Okay. The sound of it cracks the air, shattering the silence like a fragile glass ring. Despite the familiar rumble of thunder outside, it managed to ring louder above the storm. I don't even know what hit me until my head is already snapped back and my cheek stings with her anger. And it is anger. Well, you did almost die. multiple times. In spite of the stillness and the lack of words afterward, not fuming though, never fuming, but the kind that burns lightly and soundlessly. A frustration instead of a seething rage. One that ebbs just as quickly as it flows, and once the tide subsides, there's only that gleam in her eyes, warm, steadfast, and unflinching. Quietly I brace myself for the truth underneath that gaze. It slips from her lips softly, never fading under the sound of the rain, still falling fast, if not for the weight of each
What is wrong with you?
Belle,
If your bartender friend hadn't slipped up, no one would have known where you went.
Belle, one person knowing is enough. Any more than that, and
You almost died! He could have suffocated you right then and there, and you could have died.
He
By
could
the
have!
time anyone ever
No,
finds
he
out,
would have.
You're already fertilizer.
You are correct. If you had not been here, I would literally already be dead. And they probably would use me as fertilizer. I feel like he would also piss on the plants that I'm growing into. In her next words, there's only certainty. I am glad you came save me, and that you care.
You count too, you know?
No.
When I said that night, when I told you that I don't want to lose anyone anymore, that includes you. Alive. We're still here, Ash. You have us.
And once their meaning fall, roar, it does not so if any force a dam breaking, raging storm, but with the gentle steady warmth of a hearth burning, an ember easing slowly, lightly, rising and giving until all that's left is a truth, an understanding. Not alone. Never alone. Highway song complete. Do you want me to try? Yet immutable in both of us, creating something fragile. It's in her eyes, in the way she holds my gaze, unwavering in the way she carries herself, despite sitting amidst the places she fears, in the way she keeps herself from trembling and falling apart because fear is inconsequential when people she cares about are at risk. A change. She realizes that now, holds on to it. Another little thing, another small thing from her that may go unnoticed and pass by quietly, but will eventually amount to a lot of things. Tiny gestures that mean nothing at first will begin to matter to me one day until... Oh. Despite myself, a small smile slips from my lips, the warmth from earlier unfurls my chest. Unhurried, familiar, bright from all these years I've carried it, but have never given the words for it.
Stop smiling like that, Ashton. I'm not done scolding you.
But this time they come easy.
I heard all of it. Don't worry.
Are you really okay? That guy hit you a little too
He hit
hard
me
on the head.
hard! A lot of places! I'm pretty sure I need to start pushing Flintstones vitamins directly into the holes! Although her expression does shift, mild confusion, she does not pull away like I'm expecting. She simply stares at me, searching. For her to allow a gesture from me that's perhaps too close, it tells a lot of how far things have already shifted in the past few years. Cradled in mine, her hand still trembles. Most of the tremors has already subsided by now, though I doubt it'll fade away this soon. Even as I trace the lines of her palms in what I hope is a comforting gesture.
Sorry. No.
For what? Is this about what happened tonight? You can apologize later when...
No, well,
I feel like we're gonna look to the side and we're gonna see the ghost
not
just sitting there
this.
with a bag of popcorn.
It's for a lot of things. for calling you clumsy and careless and a scatterbrain.
Are you sure this isn't a concussion?
It
You would think that, wouldn't
is
you?
probably my fourth one today.
Oh, you don't usually apologize.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that too. For all the times I've teased you and made you cry.
Unexpectedly, her fingers tighten around mine, our hands falling between us as something tender shifts in the air. Another exhale. Another drawn breath eases out of me, filled with every hesitation and uncertainties. But when I finally choose to break the silence, it's only when I know that will slip past my mouth is the one truth I will hold against the world.
But for all those callous words, despite all those, there's nothing that I don't love about you. In fact, those things, I love those. And everything. Everything that's you.
For a long moment, she offers no response. Her grip on my hands merely tightens. I wonder if we'd gone the Becca path. Would we have seen Becca there with the taser? Slightly leaning away and giving her a cautious glance, more than ready to hear her rejection. Instead, I find her on the brink of tears, with an almost unreadable expression on her face. When she notices my eyes on her, she hastily reaches up and wipes the back of her hands. It does not keep them from falling, and soon they trail down her cheeks despite her best attempts. This is heartfelt, but I feel like there's a ghost eating popcorn in the corner. And you know what actually is in the corner? The butler! Handcuffed
Hey, Belle, did
to the bed.
I say something wrong?
Why would you? I don't even have anything.
What?
What?
I don't have anything.
I'm
not rich. I live off instant noodles almost
That's
every
not what-
day.
No one gives a shit if you have
Properly without
money.
Someone helping me. Except maybe if it's drawing, but that's beside the point.
Men don't
I
love
get to
people
graduate,
based
even if I was
on...
so close.
You know, people
I'm
don't
sure
love
that
people
scholarship
based
will get me
on how much
anywhere.
money they have. And while yes, men do
Ever since
pay
I
a
came
lot of
here,
attention to, like,
in
you
the
know,
5
tits
years you've
and
known me,
cleavage
I've
and
gotten into all
pretty
kinds of
faces
trouble.
and all that
So
shit.
why would you even say that? I'm not.
Basically, you're somebody, you know, that can be trusted, that you're a good person, and most of all, he cares about you as a person. That's the most important thing. Like, oh, you don't have anything. Like, that is not what your self-worth or your worth to other people is based on. People don't love other people based on material possessions. They love them for who they are as a person and for the interactions that they have between them. After all, that's the whole point. You can't just fall in love with somebody at first glance. I mean, yes, you can be turned on by someone that's really hot, smoking, attractive, but I'll say this. You fall in love by actually spending time with somebody and getting to know them and forming that bond and gradually learning to trust them. And I'll say this. If you trust someone immediately upon meeting them, then you have even worse survival. It's that's not love.
It doesn't matter.
Love
All
is
of that
about
is still you, and that's enough
trust
for me.
and communication and actually, respecting and valuing each other, missing the other person, but also respecting their space, but also missing them. And like I said, it should be someone where maybe like being asleep next to them should be the safest place in the whole world. And they should also know that, they're asleep next to you, it's the safest place in the world for them. That you would never ever hurt Too afraid to make a mistake or hurt. But for now, it's enough. It's the closest we can come to it. Rather than give out empty promises or grand proclamations, we have this. Something she soon understands. Her shoulders ease and she permits me to draw her closer, deepening the kiss. Softly and gently, a short second of simply allowing the world to melt away around this to roar above anything else. Like every little thing between us that is built up to this one single point in time. A moment that becomes ours and ours alone. Something to hold close until all of this is over. Part later to the sounds of the world rushing back around us. Thunder, rain, and lightning. All to remind us the reality. Enough to dampen the mood and force back the worry I've temporarily forgotten. Yet when I glance back at Isabella, all she has for me is a small smile, bright and hopeful. And it is strength enough. One that I try to draw from when I rest my forehead against hers one last time before leading us both out, her hand in mine. Power still hasn't come back. When we make our way downstairs, tricky considering the stairs to the attic are a bit old. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you. With the stairs this steep, a broken neck is a likely outcome. Thankfully, Isabella's here to guide me through the darkness. She knows this place better than anyone, and after all, in spite of the misfortunes it has brought us.
Careful, the floorboards over there aren't very sturdy.
Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks, the pieces falling somewhere with a dull thud.
Oh shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, foot.
See? I told you so. You never listen to me.
They renovated the whole mansion and they can't even replace one tiny part of the house.
Why don't you file a complaint to BRC then? I'm sure they'd be thrilled to hear it. You know it was such a rush job.
Yeah. Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear Gus battering the window in the attic. It makes you wonder why, up until now, the only person we've encountered from this house is the butler. Although, to some degree, that makes sense. He is in charge of running the place. Where are the other servants, though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption if they're all asleep. The route I've taken doesn't seem to pass by the rooms they'd likely assign the servants' quarters. However, they also have heightened security. I brushed it off earlier, thinking they'll post a lot closer when the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. Okay. Luke, what's up, buddy? As if every inhabitant in this place suddenly disappeared overnight. Yeah, I wonder what happened to Luke. I know I'm about to play Luke at some point. He's the only person I really got to play. More importantly, where's the... I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that we're here, right in the fucking middle of it, makes me all more queasy. And that feeling only escalates once we reach the landing and Isabel swings the door open. Dramatic! Okay, Miss McCullough left. I run into her, a look of confusion in her as she looks around while wordlessly taking in her surroundings. Again! Perfect time! Midnight snack! They were in a kitchen! Open the fridge!
Isabella, what are you...
They have to have some kind of cake.
You aren't supposed to be here.
Yes, we are. I am hungry. There is food here. Or are you saying the house is rearranging itself? Becca? Hi. Oh, hey, McCullough. Of course you didn't want to listen to me even if I already exceeded 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although color and strength seems to... Did you actually enjoy your midnight snack? Thank you. I'd like to know what you ate, though. Yes, empty plate on the counter. Played a part of that. Good news, I guess. As for the other one, however, relieved as I am that she has the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't help but roll my eyes at her, although she preempts me with a reprimand of her own. Do you not see me covered in bruises?
Did you really think you could hide this from us?
I had to, Becca.
You know, if Isabella hadn't asked G and that old guy didn't slip, none of us would even have any idea.
So the first thing the two of you did is go straight here?
Of course not, but Isabella insisted.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
I tried, all right? She was out the door before I could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
One that I absolutely don't like. In the end, Isabella... Did they just break through a window?
We heard someone scream, Ash.
So did Zach. Though he also got attacked by a butler.
We need to get out of here.
Okay. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen, and we have two ways out, the back door and the cellar. Oh, you're giving me a choice! You're giving me a choice! Except the hatch won't budge. Okay, you took away my choice. Locked it firmly on the other side. Rebecca also gives it a few tries, but even with help from Isabella, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. You know, we are inside. The locks of doors are inside. Just go out the front door. Where do you see blood? I don't see blood. It says in every nook cranny. I don't see blood anywhere. I see a picture of a dog. Like a Rorschach. I mispronounced that so bad. Reek of familiar metallic scent. I don't see blood. I see fog. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, I started around. Well, it's good that they ate before there was blood on everything. The sounds from outside, foreboding rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds had begun to fade away, replaced with whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Lost, but still, we ride. How much time would that even take? I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room to dining. What is it, just like fucking Hypercube now? Yeah, just go out the front door. And then someone's like, guard's like, who are you?
Move!
Like,
Run!
yeah, just go out the front door. The whole point is, it was hard to sneak in, but here's the thing. We do not need to worry about being fucking Solid Snake right now, and locks are in... It opens to another kitchen. Are we in an infinite loop of kitchens? Oh. Okay. I don't see any blood. I see blood now. Filtering into the walls, tickling from everywhere. Trickling! Everywhere furniture shakes. Before we can even step back into the horror gradually unfolding in front of us, the door slams shut. Where are... Balcony! Jump out the fucking balcony! The whole place is reordering itself. Well, it is a haunted mansion. And with the door closed tight behind us... Balcony! There's no choice but to go forward and hope all gods that it'll lead us to an exit. Okay, here's the study. Until then, running's the only thing we can do. Spurred by nothing but fear and a sense of desperation.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
I say that it's useless to you. You can't beat us. You know, try as you might, you can't beat us. It'd be more positive if I had Zach with me, though. Why do you need that for amusement? I will play you in a game of Scrabble. Hell, we have enough people. We will play Monopoly. Just let me get some shit out of the kitchen. If I'm going to sit down and play, a trip around Boardwalk for 5 hours, I am going to eat a pizza. Have a pepperoni lovers pizza, with some mushrooms and onions and stuffed crust, and some buffalo wings.
You finally figured it out, huh, Ashton Frey?
What?
Just
You have
give it up.
that you have a lack of buffalo wings? Seriously, you're gonna invite me?
Because of you.
Everyone's gonna eventually die. I have a whole group of friends. That is the opposite of lone.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word.
This would be
But
different
you
if I
always
had our
say,
anchor and our rock, the Z-Man Zack, here with us.
even admit
Because
yourself.
he is a pillar of strength, not just because he's super tall,
But no matter
but because he is a calm, collected man who believes in me, and I believe in the friendship that we have. Though, he's dead, so, yeah, not gonna get the best ending. Wails and screams fill our ears as we pass by words from a time and people long ago, laced with nothing but pure agony, calling out words I didn't get to read, cause the cadence of this doesn't quite match. Or maybe it's all just a show, a taste of what we will eventually be, souls forever held captive, and a never-ending nightmare. How does that help you, Ghost?
Mother, I've done it.
Done what?
Leave me with me, please.
I don't.
Still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
That does sound like Hannah's voice. Or it's at least the same voice actor. This is what the curse is, what it means for all of us. That the letter, not a morbid cry for help, but an invitation. A beckoning for unsuspecting souls to be dragged into this place's horrors, to be put under centuries and centuries of torment and agony. Suddenly dying a painful death seems preferable, enticing than ending up here, living a tortured existence. Or perhaps it's all the same? Still, hope worms its way, not a usual thing for someone like me, but after going through countless doors and corridors, I want to check how long the recording is. About 2 hours. We can keep going. We're back in the dining room again. How long have we been running? How long since we left the kitchen? At some point, I've lost track of time. With the windows barred tight, the sounds lifting in the air, nothing but shouts and shrieks. It's impossible to tell. Not that it matters when an end is in sight. Shelves and furnishing bar the door, each stained with blood and gore. But if the situation isn't as desperate as it is, I'll find a way out. Okay. But there's still a gap left at the topmost part of the person to go through. As long as you use the shelves to climb.
It's next, all right.
Here, I feel like it's more of a trap. Like, I feel like we're gonna fall in a bunch of bear traps. Relief washed over. Although my legs have been strained taut by all the running, and every bone in my muscle and body ache, there's only an easing. A sense of tension, relieved while energy back flows through me again at the sight of an end. No sooner, I'm leading us out of it. Isabel helps Mikala first, assisting her up through the gap before giving a hand to Rebecca. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for her to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, she does that without any protests. Not that there's any need to. Sometimes after entering this room, the whole place is calmed down. No wails, no whispers. Just a silence too deafening. But I'm not letting my guard down. Well, I assume the ghost strained her voice. She's probably having to drink some hot cocoa and some tea with lemon and honey. Because, I mean, come on, she's got to have strained her voice. Without further incident, however, Isabella makes it to the other side. Or maybe she's eating some pizza right now. I mean, come on, it's pizza. They didn't even have it back in her time. I mean, we said we'd bring some donuts and coffee for the cop that helps us out. Why didn't we just bring donuts and coffee for the ghost? Maybe she would have been like, oh wow. And then we have Krispy Kremes and everyone's cool. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. I don't know what could it possibly be. Detective's instinct. We're in a haunted house with a psychotic, murdering ghost with blood pouring out of everything. I don't think I need keen senses of instinct. I don't need ultra instinct. Okay.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home, can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I feel like you're going to look wrong. Like, it's one thing that you're going to be look right. It's another thing the fact that... Is he going to be covered in blood? Though it appears friendly, I know anything but. Honestly, compared to other options, it's fine. We will all go together to the police station. The music's still a little off. And right now... Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upward is nearly too painful. Well, given the fact that he has the gall to be fucking pissed at me, means something. It means he hasn't seen the ghost yet. He has a gun. We are also missing Zach. Where is Hannah? Did you... I feel like you're possessed. But even with those good intentions versus ghost apparitions, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is, if he's even aware that the whole this household has somehow disappeared, and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
That sounds like sarcasm.
Please, what?
We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry. I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for Feathers here, though. But really now, I swear, people need to stop breaking into my house! This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves a handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy, and his words are no threat. The safety's off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing forward with his words. I'm pretty sure if we all rush him. Calling Paramount with the slightest gesture, I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger, ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. They're already pretty south. He is quick to train his hone on me, though just like...
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. Well, obviously he hasn't seen the ghost. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing. Something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? This scum is so full of himself, prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably the only way I can make him listen is if I beg. I feel like I'm going to get a choice here in a second. No way in hell is that happening. Yep, I'm getting a choice. Well... Save. And the game explicitly told me to beg. I don't want to, nor do I feel like I need to or should, but I feel like the game is the only way to get a good ending. My life's not the only one at risk here, however. Should definitely click the auto button. There's Rebecca. There's Isabella. Makala's here as well. We're all unknowing victims of this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick, save who I should simply let. I tried to save Zack, okay? I suppose I can take a few hits and I can set. You can't just take. Okay, I'd say you can't just take a few hits with a bullet. Though still on edge and ready, in case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance.
Listen, Wright, I need you to...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now, and you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's ever heard of his life. Yeah? Have I? The one thing missing is for him to keel over and start rolling around the floor, all while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home. You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
He's right on that at least. I might have ended up like him. If I didn't have Professor, Andrew, Rebecca, Zack, and Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. If his laughter rings all the possibilities I could have lived, but have never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me. People who care. A sobering realization. But not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. 2 heartbeats, he marches toward me, grabs my collar, and aims the gun right at my head?
Ashton! Luke, no!
At this distance, a slight flick of the finger on the trigger would be able to do more than kill me. I don't know. I think at the point you're dead, dead is dead.
With me. This is the 3rd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to meet the business end of this gun.
In spite of the huge threat he poses now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. We're here to save you. You don't give that impression about keeping solid eye contact. We're here to save you.
I'm not with NCA.
You dick.
I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Why, you insolent!
His finger moves, but I am prepared, my hand ready to reach up, disarm, and knock. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person. I am waiting. Like, it was nice to see Ash's reaction to the ghost. I want to see Luke's reaction to the ghost. However, another voice. It's going to be Hannah, but she's going to look very different. A small little thing compared to the storm outside. The rings above, nevertheless, causing all of us to stop and turn. Yep, that does not look quite the happiest. Atop the staircase, Hannah Wright stands there, pale as death, an expression eerily calm. I can't help but think there's something wrong. My gaze darts around, wary of her, and soon enough I realize what's wrong when she speaks. She's wrong.
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. What do you think you're doing out here this late?
That's... Streak of lightning, flash, a clap of thunder, ripples across the sky. As if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. I haven't heard that expression in a long time. Fucked up beyond all recognition. Ellipses. More ellipses. Oh, and we're to the Luke story. Another long, exhausting day at work. What day are we? I still have much to do. Sometimes I wonder why I still bother. I can surely afford to retire, leave the business to trusted colleagues. Even if they do make enough only to break even, I have enough money to last us a lifetime or 3. I could send 7 children to college if I had any, not that I plan to. But the problem is obvious, isn't it? I don't trust anything a lot. It has to be because me, I get it wrong. I don't want to retire and suddenly wake up one day and find that everything has gone down the shitter. Well, we will go ahead and save here because now we get to start as Luke. What day is this? October 17th. So we're like back at the very start of the day. Not sure. Okay, how do I just close this? Okay, I'll just save here. Save. And we will go and call that a part. Next time we get to have the game try to make us like Luke. And if the writers of this game are as good as they think they are, I'm sure they'll succeed. That being said, he's still a dick, and I still don't like him. But anyway, I hope everyone out there had a good day. Bye.